Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you got a box of donuts, some strawberry milk, maybe one of those spicy galoshes if you're into that sort of thing. Because it's time for the list critics.
Yeah, that sounds good right about now. Little jelly donut, strawberry milk. That's
Shit, I'm
childhood
eating,
right there.
I'm eating sprinkles right now. In fact, I'm going to do a quick three top favorite donut items.
Okay, let's hear that.
Number one, blueberry sprinkles.
Okay.
I don't know what about it I love about it, but I love it.
I like the strawberry sprinkles, personally.
Oh, well, I got a couple of those too.
Yeah.
Number two, eclairs.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
nothing better than eclairs. Well, actually, except for this. Chocolate twisties.
Oh, okay. My top three would probably be the strawberry, in no particular order, the strawberry sprinkles, the jelly donuts, and the lemon cream donuts.
Oh, yeah, those are good too.
But I can't get them that often. You go to Dunkin' Donuts and you're like, hey, do you have any lemon donuts? And sometimes they do, but usually they don't. But let's start the show off as we usually do with Pleated Jeans' 21 instances of Tumblr getting deep on these nuts.
Yeah. Hey, pull back. Don't push forward.
Good Lord. All right, the Technicolor Trenchcoat says, today is Copernicus's 540th birthday. You may remember Copernicus as the man who said, hey, what if the Earth went around the sun? To which the Catholic Church replied, hey, what if we set you on fire? That is the way things worked back then. People did not want to hear any differing opinions, and you know what? Not much has changed.
History repeats itself over and over.
Except instead of literally lighting on fire, they just roast you on Twitter. Okay, so Bees My God says, I'm sick of Tumblr ignoring this issue. The producer of Law and Order's name is Dick Wolf. I mean, yeah. And Tiny Barbara says, how is that an issue when this guy exists? And it shows a screen cap from the beginning of an episode of Law and Order. It says, co-producer Speedweed. I have always noticed that because I used to watch Law and Order, and they have some weird names in the credits.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, Dick Wolf, that's amazing. Can you imagine being that guy in college? You're the Dick Wolf?
No.
I mean, probably got laid.
Probably, but I doubt it'd be worth all the humiliation.
I don't know, man. Dick Wolf's a pretty cool name. That's like a porno name. I mean, it's not like it's Dick Gobbler. I mean, that would be an embarrassing name.
Oh, God.
All right. This one doesn't have a name. It says, my friends who have dogs. This is my beautiful son. He is not very smart, but he is such a good, kind boy. My friends who have cats. This is my terrible daughter. She is very soft and has tiny beans. My friends who have birds. This is the wretched, foul gremlin who lives in my house and screams very loud. I love her. You know, I have friends who have dogs, friends who have cats, and friends who have birds, and I can attest that all these are absolutely accurate.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'm living with cats now, and one of them's in heat, so she's locked in the bed right
that's
now.
rough. That's rough. They didn't fix it?
No, they did not fix her.
That would be ideal, so you don't have to deal with, like 2.5 weeks of her being horny and screaming her head off.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Sideducker says, do you ever lie on your side and a small tear leaks out and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck, body? I know I'm sad, but not that sad. Can't say that's ever happened. 97 Jane says, why do moms put dishes away so loudly? I've actually seen this one. And Five Fingers Through Fire says, to let you know no one helps out around the house.
Ouch.
It's true, though. Your mom puts dishes away. It's like a symphony of death.
I gotta keep that in mind whenever I'm cleaning house.
Thorla says, I think the weirdest thing is having leftover information about someone. Like, I still know someone's let's try that again. Like, I still know someone's favorite girl name or their favorite season or someone's address. I remember someone's favorite ice cream colors and someone's favorite childhood book and the mental disorder their uncle has. I remember the ages and birthdays of their siblings. I remember the song they said they'd sing to their spouse. Where do I put this down? Where do I learn to forget? It's called drinking.
I don't know how to respond to that.
You wanna forget something? Drink. Blanc Cafe says alcohol will only make a person cheat if they'd consider doing it while sober. Being drunk changes your behavior, not your morals. Mic drop. It's true.
Yeah?
It's true.
You don't know when to shut up.
Yep. All right, so this one doesn't have a name on it, but it says, a simplified guide to the sexualities. So this starts out kind of fucked up and goes from there. Homosexual, sexual attraction to houses and other buildings like building-like structures. Heterosexual, an undying lust for Macklemore. Asexual, attraction to any and all things beginning with the letter A. Pansexual, a desire for pots, pans, and other kitchen utensils. Polysexual, sexual attraction to polygons. Bisexual, attraction to the 9th century Chinese army officer Bai Shiduo. And demisexual, never-ending love of Demi Lovato.
I think I'd rather take Demi Moore.
Oh, she's too skinny for me. She got no ass. Daft Post-Punk says, my dying words better be, I'm going ghost. What? Oh, I hope not. That's fucking terrible. Charlie Rosa says, I like calling people bud because it's like, hey, you're my pal, and also a small baby flower. Okay, then. Yeah. All right, this one doesn't have a name. Women's shampoo conditioners. So soft and supple. Lavender with a hint of daffodil and sandalwood. Leaves you feeling silky smooth like you're taking a mud bath floating on a cloud. Men's shampoo and conditioner. New Men's 78-in-1 shampoo conditioner combo. Shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, body wash, hair gel, face scrub, car wash, degreaser, engine oil, wheel and bearing lube, and all in one. Smell like Old Spice, engine grease, 98 octane fuel and sweat all day. Use it to wax your car or add it to milk for a protein shake. Manly.
Where do I buy that at?
That sounds like a great product.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because I use 2-in-1s and 3-in-1s and all that other stuff.
I've been told, I like the 3-in-1, but I've been told that it's not the best for your scalp.
What do I know? I just know I need it for the road because I carry enough stuff in my groom bag as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just handy to have one bottle of ooze that cleans everything. Octobras says, are captchas getting harder or am I slowly turning into a robot? Ooh. Oh my. There's a thought, right?
A little bit.
Lindsay Lohoen says, I hate finding a cut or a bruise on my body, and I'm like, what the fuck? Shouldn't I have felt that? Was I there when it happened? Okay.
Maybe.
You were definitely there. Maybe you weren't paying attention. Casey Anthony Official says, I hate when I smile at a stranger and they don't smile back. I'm doing this for you, fucker. Six Alien says, yeah, you're excited for winter now, but wait until that seasonal depression hit. And Hook and the Daggers XVX says, I'm depressed all seasons. Just let me be sad in a sweater. All right, that makes sense.
I'd rather do winter right now than summer.
Oh, no, I'm over winter, dude. Especially after that last storm dumped 3 feet of snow on us. The whole operation can go fuck itself.
Well, I mean, I work in trailers all day, too, so that heat just beats down.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that, yeah, because you're surrounded by metal and not a lot of air conditioning.
Yep.
Amateur Cracksman says, yes, but how do I know that you're dating me for my heart and not for my international crime empire? Entropy Samples replies with, because your international criminal empire is what you do, not who you are. And Amateur Cracksman replies with, that is so sweet. I might just stab someone. That was a good one. I like that. Hip Hop Frights Plaque says, we live in a world where losing your phone is more dramatic than losing your virginity. Okay, but I don't recall my virginity having 16 gigs of memory with all my contacts, music, photos, calendars, and apps are costing over $200. Glow Cloud says, my phone is an expensive and important material object and not a useless social construct put in place to shame and commodify women. And Slutta says, plus I remember where I lost my virginity.
Ouch.
Wow, a $200 phone? That's cheap.
Shit. I figured he may have gotten one of those deals or whatever.
Well, maybe that's why it only has 16 gigs of memory.
Yeah,
or maybe this post is just kind of old. You know how much my phone cost?
About $700.
$150.
iPhone 8.
No, S8 Plus.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna get that, but I'm waiting for the next announcement of Notes, and hopefully they don't screw it up this time.
And it has 64 gigs. You know, I wanted the Note 7 until I heard about it, being an actual bomb. And,
Quick story.
Oh, you told this already on List Critics.
Oh, yeah,
You
I'm
threw the
sorry.
phone and it started spewing steam everywhere.
Yeah, where I was down in Jacksonville, Florida, and they said, "Hey, you
Yeah.
want to see something cool?"
Yeah. By the way, I didn't mention it the last time you told that story on List Critics, but you didn't breathe any of that in, did you?
No.
Okay,
They threw it. They threw it as far as they could.
because that's really, really carcinogenic. So,
Yeah.
don't breathe this, as they say on Blendtec. Afro says, "You've seen summer, now get ready for 9 months of crippling anxiety and stress." Okay. 17YR, maybe it's 17 year, says, whenever you're sad, just say Noom whenever you walk around a corner. It will make you feel better, 100%. Trust me, I am a doctor. Well, I'll take that under advisement, Dr. 17 year.
17-year-old or 17 years as a doctor.
It's just 17YR. I'm assuming the YR is year. It could be 17 years of torture for all I know. I have no idea.
Exactly.
Crop Top says, God, I fucking love people. Like right now someone is kissing their baby on the forehead for the first time, and someone just went into a French bakery and is deeply inhaling, and someone is dyeing their hair the color of the sky, and someone just confessed their love to someone, and you're reading this post, but you're alive, and you will be okay, and you will be happy. And Princess Bubblegum replies with, I needed this. And I just want to add to that, right now somebody is taking the best shit of their life.
You or me?
Somebody. It ain't me. I'm doing List Critics right now. If you're taking a shit, I don't need to know about it, though. Although, if it's the best shit of your life, you could talk about it.
No. I'm not doing that. I'm sitting on my couch.
Yeah, I thought so. And finally, Untexting says, isn't it weird how we basically have an endless mental conversation with ourselves? Yep, just me and Uncle Smushy.
That just gave this list 3 points right there.
By the way, were you around in the stream for the Uncle Smushy shit?
No, I wasn't around for that.
Well, like I mentioned, I was at a birthday party for the majority of yesterday, and my nephews were there, and of course they're hanging off me, and I started a game with them where we'd pretend to call each other on the phone and yell at each other, and then hang up, And Bobby kept calling me different names, like I'm Uncle John, but then he started saying, I'm calling for Uncle Chicken, or I'm calling for Uncle Boo Boo, and then he said, I'm calling for Uncle Smushy, and I put on the switch and go, hello, this is Uncle Smushy. And he's like, Uncle Smushy, you should get in your car and come to my house. I do not have a car, I ride a bumblebee. You can shut up now, goodbye. And it became a whole thing where me and Bobby and Nathan, all day, they'd be like, ring, ring, and I'd be like, hello, this is Uncle Smushy, shut up, goodbye. You can shut up now, goodbye. And that's how they reacted, was just uncontrollable laughter, So I was telling that story on the stream, and then I put up a picture, a selfie that I took with my younger nephew, Nathan, and I get all these comments like, Uncle Smushy in the house.
That's your new name. You're no longer Necro. You're now Uncle Smushy.
I'm Uncle Smushy, yeah. All right, so out of 21, I think this was a pretty good listing. There were a few that were like, duh, but there's always a few like that. And I'm going to say out of 21, I'm going to give this a good, strong 18.
I was going to say 16, but that last one made my day, so I'll say 19.
There you go. All right. The last one was good. All right, 15 Twitter jokes everyone should read. Brian Espy at Sorta Bad says, Betty White is so old, she starred in a 7-season TV show about being old that went off the air before most of you were born.
Are you sure this is Twitter jokes and not the 21 times Tumblr Gets Deep?
Yeah, that belongs on Tumblr Gets Deep, because that just blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, I know, right?
Because she was on that show, and that was in the 90s, and that was about old bitches. I mean, that's the whole point of that show.
Yeah.
Wow. Mike Bianchi at Mike Bianchi says, Dentist, use this razor string to saw your gums. I call it floss. Me, dude, this hurts. I'm bleeding. Dentist, you should do it more then.
Well, he technically ain't lying, so...
Yeah, did you know that there's actually no benefit to flossing?
Yeah, I actually read about that.
Yeah, but dentists are not happy with that, because they've been saying that it's important for years and years now, and now they found out there's no point. Just brush your teeth like a normal person.
Hey, I like chewing on toothpicks. That gives me enough of a reason to floss.
There you go. Tommy Tough Stuff at Tommy Tough Stuff says, getting an X-ray. Technician, quit putting that box of chocolates on your chest. Me. Just tell me which ones are coconut. There you go. You know what I hate is when you had the box of chocolates, and it has that like map that tells you which is which, but it's like on the bottom.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like
I hate that stuff.
You have to flip it upside down to see it.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, find the lid, flip it upside down, hope to not scramble them around. Okay, that one's the coconut, now turn it over. Okay, where's the coconut? I can't find it. It's Abby Yup at Abby Cohen WL says, my retirement plan is to buy several red polo shirts, and anytime I need anything, go steal it from Target. Okay, I get it.
I think that happened to me when I was working at Target.
What? Somebody came in with a red polo shirt and just started grabbing shit?
Yeah.
And that worked?
I think it did.
Holy crap. Beth Kant with this at Bourgeois Alien says, saw 8 vasectomy billboards on my 4-hour road trip through Florida. Through Florida yesterday. It's like Florida knows what has to be done to Florida. I can't say that I've ever seen a billboard advertisement for vasectomies.
Yeah, they've got them in Florida.
They must know that it's got to stop with it. Like, it's enough already, Florida. Stop breeding.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. They got tons of it's a mixture of both pro-life and be responsible, get a vasectomy or get your tubes tied or condom advertisement. Like they got them all over the place. It's insane.
But why is it so prevalent in Florida and not anywhere else?
I have no idea, dude.
Because Florida knows what has to be done to Florida.
Shit, you set me up for it.
It's enough already. Well, I'm just repeating what it said in the tweet. I mean,
I know that's why I was saying that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Okay, so Shervin at Shervin Sinatra posts a picture of the back seat of a car, and there's like an ostrich or an emu or something poking his head up there, and it says, "This is why you don't buy things when you're drunk." You know, I don't think I've ever been so drunk that I wanted to just like, hey, I'm gonna buy an ostrich. Conrad Edgar Allan Lowe says, the killer presses his gun to my head. Stand up, he orders, and don't run. Don't worry, I gasp, winded from standing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's funny. All right, J.C. Catlin at I Eat and Drink says, I used to think I could control ducks with my mind, but it turns out ducks and I just have very similar ideas about what stuff ducks should do.
Quack.
That was way too complicated. No. Ibid at Ibid78 says, me after 1 minute of jogging. This is good. This was a good decision. Me after 3 minutes of jogging. Life is suffering. There is no God. Sounds about right. Space Girl Incognito at I Am Space Girl says, down on one knee holding up ring box. Babe, I want to ask you to be, open box, there's a little skull in it. Or not to be. That is my question. Okay.
What?
He's trying to, like, make a Hamlet joke, but that's not even the right scene. The skull part was, alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio, not to be or not to be.
Right.
This is a horrible, horrible Twitter name. Prepare yourself for this, Peyton. Dr. Happy Knuckles, at Dr. Happy Knuckles, says, back when I was a kid, it required incredible, angry dedication to drop a phone into a toilet. Okay, that is funny, though. You had to lug the thing in there, hope the cord's long enough.
Dr. Happy Knuckles?
Yeah, I'm not pleased with the Dr. Happy Knuckles thing. That's just horrible. Why is that a thing? All right. RuPaul Ryan at Warm Yellow Light says, I don't see why I have to clean the shower. IMO, it's the shower's job to clean me.
He's got a point.
Well, you clean it, it cleans you. It's symbiotic.
Get the scrub of bubbles do it for you. They do the work so you don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. Captain's Log at How007 says, I've never been skydiving, but I've zoomed in on Google Earth really fast. Is that what it's like? Okay.
I gotta remember that one.
Okay. Cat Friendship Club at I Like Cat Shirts posts this picture that I don't know how this is a thing, but it's a cat calmly walking away from a huge explosion, almost like an action movie thing. And it says, right after you burn popcorn in the microwave at work.
There's nothing worse than that smell.
It's a smell that goes from pleasant to unpleasant very quickly. It's like, ooh, popcorn, bird popcorn. And finally, and this is another horrible, horrible username, Horny Ray Jepson at the Miltron says, the invention of knocking. I'm going to punch your house until you talk to me. Okay.
What?
Well, doorbells weren't invented, so yeah. I mean, if you think about it, that is kind of what knocking is. I'm going to punch your house until you talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, out of 15, this was all over the map, really. I'm gonna give it a 10 just because that seems safe, but there were some really good ones and some really bad ones.
I'll say 6.
Yeah. Okay, so I told you about this earlier. I do have a list of funny church signs here. These are always kind of amusing.
All right.
There's 15 of them, and this is from Pleated Jeans. First one, I already told you this one, but I'll say it for List Critics Land. Church parking only. Violators will be baptized.
Yep.
Okay. It'd have been funnier if it said something like violators will be forgiven.
You know what? That actually would be funnier.
Yeah, that would have been better. This next one is a twofer. The one on the left says, Middletown Baptist Church, whoever keeps praying for snow, we're impressed. Now pray for world peace. There's snow on the ground. And the one on the right says, Heart Lake United Church, lying in bed shouting, oh God, doesn't constitute going to church. Oh, those are really two separate ones. I don't know why they were put together, but all right. This one says, Rio Assembly of God. God wants spiritual fruit, not religious nuts.
Yeah.
I've seen that one. This one, St. Paul's RC Church, a Respect Life community. Too hot to keep changing signs. Sin bad, Jesus good. Details inside.
That's one way to get people to come in.
That's good. I like that. St. Mark's Anglican Church, Adam and Eve, the first people to not read the Apple terms and conditions. Oh, that's awful.
Oh.
That's terrible. I'm not even religious, and I can tell you it wasn't even an apple. God. All right, Lamont Missionary Church. They asked me to change the sign, so I did. That's kind of try hard, but all right. First Christian Church. I doubt that this is actually the first Christian church, but that's the name of it. Walmart is not the only savings place.
That went downhill quick.
That one wasn't good. Clifton Baptist Church. Honk if you love Jesus. Text while driving if you want to meet him. Okay,
Oh, come on. That's a bumper sticker one.
That's funny. I like that. St. James Presbyterian. The most powerful position is on your knees. There are so many jokes that I can make that I won't.
Have you seen that meme where the guy opens his mouth, puts a finger up, and he's like, no, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm doing right now. Like,
no. Yeah.
never mind. Just go on.
Yeah. Bay Street Missionary Baptist Church. If you're looking for a sign from God, this is it.
Okay.
Now that's a sign from Pastor Smushy. Come on now. Concordia Lutheran Church. Hipster Jesus loved you before you were cool. Shaking my damn head. All right. Rose City Park United Methodist Church. We don't want gay marriage to upset the sanctity of your third marriage.
Ow.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Rose City
Thank you.
Park United Methodist Church, for being... You don't get the R&R very much religious and reasonable. It's a beautiful thing when it happens. It's not very often.
Exactly.
This is the Church of Christ welcomes you. If evolution is true, how come mothers only have 2 hands?
Shit.
I don't know how to feel about that one. On the one hand, it's really clever, and on the other hand, it's really stupid.
And on the third hand...
Yeah, there you go. St. Joseph Parish Church Service Center says, I don't know why some people change churches. What difference does it make which one you stay home from?
Oh.
All right. And finally, St. George's Anglican Church says, Jesus had 2 dads and he turned out just fine. Okay, that's funny. I like it. Out of 15, I just got to say, though, that I feel about half of these might be fake.
I don't know.
Just saying, just based on the image quality, we'll say.
Oh, yeah.
Like, some of them, like the Walmart is not the only savings place is definitely real. You know, honk if you love Jesus, text while driving if you want to meet him is definitely real. The most powerful position is on your knees. That one looks kind of photoshopped. But just going on the slogans alone, out of 15, I'm gonna say 9 on this one.
11 for me.
Okay. All right, now I clicked on this one earlier, and this may be kind of ambitious. This is advertising the 40 funniest text conversations ever.
Oh, boy.
We'll be the judges of that. So let's see. This one says, do you want to see a picture of my dog? And the person replies, no. I say, okay, cool. And then there's a picture of a dog, and he's wearing shades. That dog don't give a fuck. All right, so if this is the 40 funniest conversations ever, we're not off to a good start here.
No, we're not.
Okay. So this one says, Mom, and it's on iMessage. It says, how make chicken? What? Where buy chicken? Mom, this isn't Google. Avocado. Okay. Old people in technology is always going to be funny.
Oh, yeah.
All right. This one says, I want to name my daughter Mayonnaise and shorten it to May. May isn't short for anything, so no one will ever ask what her full name is, but she'll constantly live with the knowledge that she's named after a condiment. That's not really a conversation, it's just one text, but it is funny. All right, this one says, in all honesty, how big do you think the Hulk's dick is? Like, do you think it is proportionate to his body? And the reply is, who is this? Dude, that'd be great to come up with some stupid shit like that and just text it to a random number and see if you get a reply.
Well, according to the lawsuit, it said that he looked like a fire extinguisher.
Oh, what lawsuit?
When that sex tape got out.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought we were talking about Hulk Hogan. Never mind.
Oh, like Marvel Hulk.
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to forget that. This one says, it's the inside that matters, not outside. And the other person says, really? Give me an example. And I say, refrigerator. Makes sense. That is true.
Yeah.
Also, most fruits. You only eat the inside of most fruits, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could eat the outside of an orange if you're an asshole. Okay, so this one says, I hit a tree, and the other person says, what? Are you okay? Or should I say, okie, haha, sorry, but actually. And who answered that? Armageddon time?
I don't know.
All right, so this says, the first person says, geez, my arms are so sore, holy shit. And the second person says, baby chain. And then I said, okay, I meant to type good, but I saw a string of kindergartners on the street holding onto a rope and to stay together as I typed. But right now I'm more concerned with the fact that you didn't feel the need to ask for clarification. Because that's 2 hours later.
Um,
I'm gobsmacked here. That is a baby chain. But why would you be typing good if their arms are sore? Like, I don't even get what the hell's going on in that one.
I don't know either. I'm completely lost.
Okay. All right, so this one has a Tumblr post attached to it. It says, did I tell you guys how I changed all the words I can think of to Noom on my mom's phone? And they get text from my mom's, Noom, 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 Nugget. I Noom, Noom. Noom, 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 Noom. Noom is happening. Noom, Nugget, Nugget, Noom. Help. How do you do that, man? I want to figure out how to change words into other words on someone's phone and fuck with them.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know. That seems like it would be kind of time-consuming, no?
Yeah, I remember there's a lot of people out there that are honestly that bored.
That's very true. This one says, what's your major? Communications. Yours? I'm doing biology. I want to be a pedestrian. A what? Like, I want to be a doctor for kids. Pediatrician? All right. I'm not laughing at it. I get it. I mean, it's kind of funny.
Come on, don't make me say 0.0 again. Let's go.
Yeah. This one says, dude, Buttholes are like pockets, like you can store stuff up there and keep it safe. And the reply comes through, no they are not, do not do that. I shouldn't even be laughing, but that's not fucking funny. Alright, so it says, I just calculated, I'm 100 kilos, and I ate 800 grams ravioli. Like a whole fucking can. That means I'm 0.8% ravioli. And the reply is, it's 4 a.m., what the fuck? Yeah. Okay.
It's like the only funny, I'm going to be honest, the only funny thing so far is the replies like, okay, who are you? Or it's 4 a.m., what the fuck?
Yeah, so far those are the two winners. There's 40 of these, though. So, see, this says, why did the turkey cross the road? And they get a ... And then they share a picture from their car of a turkey standing in the middle of a road in front of their car. And it says, he didn't. He's an asshole and just stood in front of my car for 5 minutes.
Okay, I think I spoke too soon. Now we're up to 3 now.
You know, usually honking at them gets them out of the way, because I live in an area where there's wild turkeys all over the place. All right, this is a dad text. It says, oh, I've seen this one. This is kind of funny. There is lightly fried fish fillets for dinner. Dad, it's 1:15 a.m. What the fuck? Do you want the lightly fried fish fillets or not? Well, I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thought so. Come on downstairs. They're still hot. Wait, what? Did you just make them? Yes, I wasn't tired, so I decided to make some lightly fried fish fillets. Say lightly fried fish fillets one more time, Dad. I mean,
lightly fried
fish fillets. He keeps saying it. It is weird that he keeps saying it. I think he likes typing it. But, you know, I got to say, though, I that's a text that I would like to get at 1:15 a.m. I mean, I don't want to wake up at 1:15 a.m., but if somebody's got lightly fried fish fillets, I'm down.
Yep.
All right, this one says, I hear sex jams. Am I allowed to come out? Who's here? Oh, my God. And the reply is, no one. I'm just making some oatmeal and really feeling it. That's good. My grandpa just called Parmesan pasta sugar. That's so funny. Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
What the actual fuck happened there? Oh my god. All right. So this person posts a picture of a frightened-looking chihuahua. Well, let's face it, all chihuahuas look frightened. But a frightened-looking chihuahua with a banana next to it, and it says, "What is this? She's cute, I guess. Why is a banana next to it? I'm sorry, I can't be her." All right. I'm just gonna move on because that was dumb.
I think the photo was more funny.
So this one says, why did the chicken cross the road? Why? To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock. Who's there? The chicken. Listen up, you motherfucker. That's like something I said to Andrew the other day. I said, you're so white, your favorite band is Ace of Base. And he said, you take that back. I will fuck you up. Okay, so this says, what if the G in GIF is silent? Go the fuck to sleep. What GIF I don't want to? Fuck off. Alright, so this one says, do you know what Sin City is? Yes, that's Las Vegas. Well, do you know what Den City is? No, mass over volume. That's like a joke your science teacher tells in the 9th grade, you know?
Hey, I laughed at it, so it gets a pass from me.
It does, yeah. This one says, actually, I used to eat sand. Wait, really? Yeah, every time I went to the beach, I would just eat the sand. I feel like there's more to that, but that's all there is.
Exactly. Unless he's like literally means, oh, I eat sand.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, that
solves world hunger right there.
What's your biggest fear? Being forgotten? Damn, that's deep. Mine is the Kool-Aid Man, but I feel kind of stupid right about now. Okay. This is from the Damn Challenge. Have you heard of the Damn Challenge, or the Hell Challenge, sometimes it's called?
I think so.
Well, if anybody doesn't know, because it sounds like you do, but I'll explain it anyway, it's where you text your mother and you say, is damn a bad word? And they'll say, like, yes, and then you keep saying damn as many times as you can, like, oh, damn, okay, or whatever. Or hell, you can do hell. So it says, Mom, is damn a bad word? Yes. Damn, okay. And she sends a selfie of herself looking very displeased and said, didn't I just say it was?
Well, she knows how to take selfies at least.
Yeah. This one says, you all have a new nephew, born around 9:30, 7 pounds, 12-ounce baby, mom and dad doing great, to be named tomorrow. And then the reply is, tomorrow is a really stupid name for a baby. Kind of saw that one coming, but that is amusing. This one says, are you going to class tomorrow? And they post a picture of a thermometer reading 100.4 degrees. And then the reply comes, does that mean you're pregnant or not?
Ouch.
Good Lord. Okay, so this person posts a picture of applesauce, just a jar of applesauce, and then they say, sorry, wrong person. And the reply is, what kind of conversations are you having? That's what I want to know. Here's some random applesauce. This one says, what if Cinderella was a baking slave instead of a cleaning slave and her name was Mozzarella?
Wow.
And the reply is, don't ever text me again. Mozzarella, we take you to the ball.
I think we
We hit the bottom there, man.
really have.
Okay, so it says, my stepdad had surgery this morning and he sent me this. And it's a selfie of, I guess, in a recovery room, and the caption is, I lived, bitch. Wow.
Sounds like something my old man did.
Shit, yeah. This one says, bro, what was that type of cheese you had at lunch? I'm at the store. I need to pick that shit up. Oh, sorry, wrong number. But I mean, if you have any cheese recommendations, let me know. I fucking love cheese. Okay. You never know. That random person might help you out there. All right. This one says, scientifically, it's mad fucked up that humans drink the milk of another animal when we make our own. Like, you don't see rhinos sucking on a goat for milk. Mad fucked up scientifically. And the reply is, how high are you? And then the reply to that is, yes. I like that one. This one says, I'm, and then the trumpet emoji. Obviously, they're trying to say they're horny. I said, your trumpet? What? That's a horn, so I'm... And then they say, in a school band.
That went south quick.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, this one says, oi, want me to get anything while I'm there? Pecan pie. And then they... Oh, I see what happened. They try to correct it to... But it still comes out as pecan pie. And it's, what the fuck? And it looks like they've changed the word no to pecan pie. In the font.
Wow.
Yeah. So then they continue. You want pecan pie? Pecan pie. They try to type no, but it's coming out as pecan pie. But be honest, who doesn't want pecan pie?
Me.
You don't like pecan pie?
Not a big fan of pecans.
Oh, so good though in a pie. All right, this is a grandma text. It says, heard you got an iPhone. How do you like it? And the reply is Massachusetts. That is some severe autocorrect. I gotta wonder what Grandma A here really meant to say.
Yeah.
Massachusetts. So this person posts a picture of a dog, and then say, how many dog pictures are on your phone? And then they reply with another dog picture. That was kind of lame.
Wow.
All right, so this one says, dude, what is your street name? Little Marco. You live on a street called Little Marco? Oh, you meant my address?
What?
He thought you meant, like, you know, your nickname on the streets, like your hood name.
Oh.
Like, you know, all the homies in the area call me Uncle Smushy, so. So this one says, there's a snake in my tent, and then they get, oh, really? On the winky face, and said, any other time I'd play along, but right now there is a literal snake in my tent.
Oh, that sucks.
I've seen this one, but I like it. It says, everyone thinks you suck. I said, I think you have a wrong number. James? Nope. Andrew. Well, you probably suck too. Take a drink of water here. That's one way to save face. This one says, I drew a thing and my fingers are tired. I said, I want to see. And they post a picture of their fingers. I said, you can't really tell from the pic, but take my word for it. Oh, it's such a dad joke. Okay, this one is just one simple text. It says, is coral the dumbest animal or the smartest rock? You know, I think I saw that on Tumblr Gets Deep one day.
I think so too. That's why it sounded familiar. I was like, what?
This one says, eat something simple like bread. That's what I do when I'm nacho icebound. Okay, wow, that's not what I meant to type at all. Nauseous. And the other person just replies with nacho icebound.
That's a good one. I gotta
That's a
remember that.
great autocorrect. Nacho icebound. Wow. So this person posts a picture of one. You know, like when you go through the drive-thru at a fast food place, sometimes there's like that trash can with the really long thing that can reach out, so you could throw something away.
Yeah.
And it posts a picture of that, and it says, "Just tried to order a Diet Coke at the garbage can."
Wow.
Wow, how high are you? Yes. That was the last one. I gotta say, it started off rocky, but it did get better. I'm gonna give it out of 20. I'm sorry, out of 40, I'm gonna give it a 28.
I'll say 21.
The first half was kind of bullshit, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, please don't make me say 0.0 again. I can't give it a 0.0.
0. Okay, I have a list here submitted by SSerpent21, who's a frequent contributor. Peyton, are you at all a fan of Clint Eastwood?
Hell yeah.
All right, well, so is SSerpent21. He's probably the biggest Clint Eastwood fan that I know, and he has ranked all of Clint Eastwood's movies from number 41 to number 1.
All of them?
Now, I don't know if he's including movies that he's directed or, along with this, or, you know, because there's some movies that he directed but he wasn't in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's included, but 41 movies ranked from worst to best with his comments on them.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that this is all actors because he's directed at least 20.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, probably right. Well, actually, there's one easy way to find out.
IMDb.
No, I just searched for a movie that I knew that he was not in, but that he directed, and it's not there. So,
Okay.
So it's only movies that he's acted in.
Okay. Whew, I was about to say, we're going to be here for a while, dude.
Yeah, okay, so number 41 is City Heat. Clint stars with Burt Reynolds as a cop and detective in a 30s period action comedy. Should be awesome, right? Nothing is further from the truth. Not very funny, confusing plot, and action scenes are a mess.
Is there anything Burt Reynolds was in that was any good? Well, I mean, Smokey and the Bandit was one.
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights?
Yeah, Boogie Nights.
I was just watching that the other day. That was him?
He was the old director, remember? He was the guy that wanted to keep it all the pornos on film, and he didn't want to do video.
Oh. Damn. How did I miss that?
Number 40 is Paint Your Wagon. No, The Simpsons didn't make this up. Clint Eastwood in a lame musical. Simpsons also didn't make up Lee Marvin being loaded because he reportedly was drunk the whole time filming.
If a movie's that bad and you know it, but you're getting paid for it, that's the only way to dull the pain.
That's like something that Michael Caine said about Jaws: The Revenge. He said he'd never seen the movie, which is probably horrible, but he's seen the house that the movie built, which is wonderful.
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo said when they were filming Super Mario, the movie.
Oh, they were drunk off their asses the whole time.
Yeah.
Because those two guys are so talented, and that movie was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, but I still like it, though.
Number 30, well, it's got that camp quality to it, you know?
And I love campy films.
Number 39 is The Rookie. Veteran cop Clint takes hotshot rookie Charlie Sheen under his wing to bust German car thieves Raul Julia and Sonia Braga. Just plain bad.
Ugh.
Wow, that sounds like a fucking train wreck. I never heard of that one. Number 38 is The Outlaw Josie Wales, one of Clint's favorites that many people took a second look at, but I disagree on, and I find it tedious and dull about a Civil War fighter becoming hunted prey by his old buddies. Okay, fair enough. Number 37 is Sudden Impact. This is the first movie on here that I've seen. You seen Sudden Impact?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like it. Did you like it?
I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, it was not good. He says, sleazy rape revenge thriller with Dirty Harry grafted on. So disconnected from the other films in the series and only gets watched during a Dirty Harry marathon for me. The only reason to watch it is if you're watching all the Dirty Harry movies. And even then, you might as well just skip to the Deadpool at that point because Sudden Impact sucked. Number 36 is The Beguiled. Wounded Union soldier Eastwood gets cared for in Dixieland girls' home and fawned over by the occupants. Different for sure, but it's worth a watch, but won't hold up to repeat viewings. Okay.
Sounds like it's one of those movies that you're willing to watch if you're just flipping through the channels looking for something
Yeah,
to
it's
do.
like, there's nothing else on, you know. Number 35 is Play Misty for Me. Clint's first directing job has him as a DJ who picks up a psychotic fan who wreaks havoc on his social life. Has its moments, but not enough of them to remain as chilling as you think it should. Okay. Number 34 is Pink Cadillac. Clint is a bounty hunter out to get a woman in the eponymous car with counterfeit money she ripped off from her criminal husband and his racist buddies. Should be so much more funnier, or at least shorter than it is.
Sounds like an Alfred Hitchcock film gone bad.
Why would you try to get counterfeit money back?
I'm not sure.
Just make more of it. Right?
Right.
All right, number 33 is Where Eagles Dare. Big-time undercover World War II film has Clint and company breaking into a Nazi stronghold. I've tried watching this at least twice, and I always end up just tuning out. Well, you could always just play the Iron Maiden song during it.
Yeah.
Number 32 is Joe Kidd. Clint in a tepid Western as a former tracker who teams up with Robert Duvall to hunt Mexican revolutionaries in the mountains. Falls apart at the end, and Duvall's name should have been Standard Villainy. Droll. All right, number 31 is The Bridges of Madison County. A photographer romances a farm wife while her family is away for the week in rural Iowa. Not as bad as I thought it would be, and it does pack a small punch or two. One of Clint's most infamous movies among his fan base. I didn't plan on it this way, but it was the last one I watched. Yeah, it's definitely a movie that you're like, oh, Clint Eastwood's in this, and you're like, oh, this is a ladies' flick.
Yep.
Number 30 is Escape from Alcatraz. Clint and the famous slammer on the bay plots his big escape with other inmates. It's not bad, but not my cup of tea. Thought that one was good. Number 29 is Space Cowboys. NASA needs help solving a crisis and turn to retired Air Force pilot Clint and his team of old men to get into space and figure out what is going on. Great cast, sure, and it's not so much bad as it is, for lack of a better term, out there in concept and its story.
I liked it.
It wasn't bad. Like, he's right. It's not bad. It's just kind of out there.
Right. It was like, okay, how's this going to work?
It's kind of like, that movie Armageddon, which I unabashedly like, even though it's not, an amazing movie, but I do like it. And it's like, why would they train oil drillers to be astronauts? Wouldn't it be a lot easier to train astronauts to be oil drillers?
Yeah.
Apparently Ben Affleck brought that up on the set, and Michael Bay told him to shut the fuck up. But apparently Ben Affleck was making a pest out of himself throughout the filming, just pointing out every flaw in the story, so I can understand. After a while, I was like, shut the fuck up, Ben. Blood Work is number 28. FBI hotshot Eastwood goes out of action due to a bad heart, urged to come out of retirement to find a killer. Pretty average, but nothing terrible. Okay. Number 27 is True Crime. Clint, as a disgraced journalist who on the eve of execution gets put out on the story of a man on death row who may not have killed the person they say he did. Nice stuff, but there are better. James Woods steals the show as Clint's boss.
I thought that was a good movie.
Not bad. Well, we're getting into the point where they are good,
Yeah.
Number 26 is $1 Million Baby. Clint is a crusty boxing coach who takes on a young woman fighter with high hopes. Great drama for sure. But damn, this one is a gut punch. No pun intended. Sorry, Jesse. Well, Jesse's not on the show today. It's Payton, but $1 Million Baby I think should be higher on the list.
Yeah, same. That was I've
Really
watched,
good movie.
there's only 3 movies I've ever watched once and only once because I couldn't watch it again.
Because they're traumatizing.
Exactly.
And that's
this
one of them, yeah.
The other one was Passion of the Christ, and the other one I completely forgot. I know it's there, though.
Passion of the Christ is a little too gory for me.
Exactly.
Like it was focusing so much on the gore and not so much on the story, and I was like, okay, Mel, we get it. You like torture. Like the South Park thing, that might not have been too far off. You know what I mean? Number 30 is The Deadpool. Dirty Harry's last film has Harry meeting a celebrity status and being stuck on a list of celebrities not expected to live much longer. A far cry from where the first Harry film started, but ends on a better note than Sudden Impact would have for the series. That is very true.
Yeah.
Number 29, Trouble with the Curve. The estranged daughter of an aging baseball scout accompanies him on what may be his last job when she learns of his dwindling eyesight. Pokey for the most part until he decides to get good at the end. So far, this is Clint's last starring role. I hope he has one more in the tank. He's 86 now at the time of me writing this.
Yeah, but he
Well,
looks like he's in his 60s still.
well, he's well preserved. I think he takes a bath in formaldehyde every day. Explains
Let's
that.
ask let's ask Christopher Lee. That guy was doing movies until his death.
Yeah, pretty much. And Betty White's still going. Like we said
Oh,
earlier, she's so old. She was in a show about being old like 30 years ago.
yeah.
Number 28 for a few. You know what? Betty White, I read this online, is actually older than sliced bread.
Wow.
Yeah. Like bread that was pre-sliced that you could buy didn't come out until after Betty White was born. So, number 28 is for a few dollars more. Veteran bounty hunters work together to take home a gang of Mexican bank robbers and their feared leader. Not the trendsetter Fistful was, and not nearly as good as Good, Bad, and Ugly was. It's just there, but that opening segment is great.
Oh, yeah. I love the Dollars trilogy.
Yeah, good shit. Number 27 is Firefox. Clint is a war veteran who gets involved with Cold War intrigue by moving through the Soviet Union to steal a super-secret spy plane. Nice stuff.
Yeah, I know that movie. That's a good movie.
I always thought they were trying to do like an airplane version of A Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
Number 26 is Honky Tonk Man. Clint is a Dust Bowl country singer who is suffering tuberculosis. He also has an invitation to perform at the Grand Ole Opry and takes a young cousin with him to show him the world. Entertaining, but you know how. Wow. All right. I don't know what he's trying to say here. I think he's trying to say it's a bad idea, but it turned out good. And that is a weird idea. Like, how about a country singer with TB?
That is weird.
Number 25 is A Fistful of Dollars. Clint's first big film and threw him into stardom has him playing both sides of criminal gangs south of the border. Never loved it the way some do, but I admire its significance. Number 24 is Any Which Way You Can, the sequel to Clint's original beer and brawl film Every Which Way But Loose. Gets you more beer, but a lot more of that chimp Clyde, and it decides to have a plot to take seriously that gets in the way. Dude, you got to learn about some punctuation here so I can tell what the hell you're talking about. All right, number 23 is White Hunter Black Heart. 40s movie director Eastwood plans on shooting an epic in Africa, but spends more of his time and energy becoming obsessed with hunting big game. Interesting, loosely based on Making the African Queen with Clint as John Ford. All right, fair enough. Never heard of that one. Number 22 is High Plains Drifter. Mysterious stranger rides into a sleepy and paranoid mountain town and is made its king as he organizes the town to fight back against the criminals they helped put away. Surreal moments make it great, but what the fuck is with the rape at the beginning?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a Clockwork Orange.
Maybe they thought they were filming Sudden Impact.
Oh, ouch.
Number 21 is The Enforcer. Dirty Harry is back to fight terrorist hippies, and now he has a lady partner. The politics of the first film are cartoonified, but still remains worthwhile.
Cool.
I kind of agree. It was a little cartoonish, but it was fun. Number 20 is A Perfect World. Clint is a Texas Ranger who is after escaped prisoner Kevin Costner and his child hostage. Clint takes a back seat to Costner, who gets probably his best acting job ever in the story of a convict and his hostage bonding on the road. Laura Dern is great in a supporting role. I have never heard of that one.
I haven't either. I gotta check that one out.
That sounds interesting. I did not like this next one. Number 19 is Absolute Power. Veteran thief Clint witnesses a murder, and the perpetrator is the President of the United States. Great story idea, and it plays out effectively. No, I thought that was dull as shit.
That's another one I haven't seen yet.
I can't recommend it. Number 18 is Tightrope. Clint is a cop recovering from kinky sex addiction and is put into a case involving serial killer murdering hookers and young women. Surprisingly good and interesting to see Clint play this sort of character. More interesting was seeing Dan Hedaya not playing a sleazebag. True. Number 17 is Hang 'em High. A former law enforcer turned rancher is a mistaken victim of mob justice and resumes his old role to find vigilantes. Clint's first major cowboy movie back in the States, and it's solid. Dennis Hopper, Mark Leonard, and Alan Hale Jr. of The Skipper all have nice supporting parts, too. All right. Number 16 is Coogan's Bluff. Old-fashioned Arizona sheriff heads to the modern big city of New York to bring home a killer who gets loose. Don Siegel directed, and it feels like a beta Dirty Harry, and that's not bad. I can agree with that.
Yep.
Number 15 is Bronco Billy. Old West Carnival show troupe faces tough times while on the road. A declining fan base and a fussy socialite who gets mixed up in their carny lifestyle. Great cast and very overlooked. Is it me, or is Clint Eastwood in a lot of movies with very weird premises?
Something like that. It's like he was trying to experiment before he finally found his call. And it was like throw 100 things at the dartboard and whatever lands, let's do it.
Yeah. Number 14 is In the Line of Fire. Aging Secret Servicemen need to stay alert when a death threat is made against the president. Nice and taut suspense thriller. All right, but when is a death threat not being made against the president? Doesn't that happen like every day?
Every day.
Yeah.
It don't matter who's saying it, but it's happening.
Yeah, they gotta take each one kind of seriously too, even if it's just like some teenager on fucking Facebook,
I'm going to kill him because he's black. I'm going to kill him because he uses fake tan spray. I'm going to kill him because he got a blowjob in the Oval Office. Oh, shut the fuck up.
Ah, you just integrated 3 presidents into one joke. Very good. All right, number 13 is Magnum Force. Second Dirty Harry movie has him taking on cowboy cops who are taking the law into their own hands. Does a nice job of addressing accusations made against the first film, but meanders far too long. I don't agree that it meanders far too long. I thought it was really good.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it just as much as the first one, to be honest. Number 12 is Unforgiven. Total deconstruction of the Western has former killer Clint getting his old partner to collect a bounty. Great cast, great storytelling, but I never felt it lived up to its hype. Okay, you want something to blow your mind, Peyton?
Let's hear it.
Red Dead Redemption has the same plot as Unforgiven.
Wow.
When you think about it, it's true, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking, and we got to go on to the next one, otherwise I'll be thinking about it so long.
Yeah, you start seeing the similarities, and it's like, holy shit, yeah. Number 11, Two Mules for Sister Sarah. That's a weird title. Tough cowboy Clint comes to aid of accosted nun in the Mexican wilderness and helps her in assisting Mexican resistance against the French. Nice big finale and a nice big twist, too. That was another, throw everything into the pot plot right there, huh?
Yeah, but in this one, it actually worked out.
Number 10 is Pale Rider, Mysterious Stranger. By the way, I just got to point out, every time he types Mysterious Stranger, he puts a little trademark symbol next to it. Wow. Mysterious Stranger rides to the aid of gold panners who are under harassment by the local big shot miners, similar to High Plains Drifter, but better. Great supporting name, cast, and locales, too. Okay. All right, he put number 9 here. He put this one way up high. It's Every Which Way But Loose. Laid-back buddy film as 2 guys and a chimp look for booze, broads, and good time. Don't look for a plot, but don't be surprised if in the end you still find a nice story mixed in. That's very high up.
That's one of those movies where it's a party film.
Yeah, you put your brain off for that one. I don't know if it's top 10 material, though. Number 8 is The Eiger Sanction. The closest Clint took to a James Bond film, playing a contracted killer, meeting people with silly names and decided lack of UNPC-ness as he targets a mountain climber who killed an old colleague. Entertaining and unbelievable as hell. Once again, that's going all over them. A mountain climber. What? What is going on here? All right, number 7 is Kelly's Heroes. Disillusioned World War II soldiers get wind of a fortune in Nazi gold that Clint and his men decide to rob. Fantastic starring cast. Love the song, and Harry Dean is in it too as Dean Stanton. Okay.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. I don't know if it's number 7, but it was good. Number 6 is Heartbreak Ridge. Gruff Marine Eastwood is near retirement and takes a job whipping an undisciplined recon platoon into fighting shape, full of quotable lines, lots to love and make fun of. That's true. Number 5 is Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Clint is a veteran bank robber who teams up with young car thief Jeff Daniels before meeting up with old partners who put on big heist. Laid back, great, and criminally underrated. I don't know if it's number 5, though.
Well, like he said it was underrated.
Yeah, that's really high. Number 4 is The Gauntlet. Washed-up cop Clint goes from Arizona to Vegas to escort a hooker to trial and dodge crooked cops and mobsters the whole way back. Deconstruction of tough guy cop, sure, but it's a lot of fun, and the finale with the bus needs to be seen to be believed. That is a great action film.
Yeah, it is.
Number 3 is Gran Torino. Grizzled Korean war vet Eastwood bonds with his Hmong neighbors better than his own lousy family and teaches this young kid next door some self-respect. It ends the way you think, but still very hopeful. Gran Torino was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I love it.
And you pretty much know what number 2 and number 1 is. Number 2 is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. 3 bounty hunters share a tenuous relationship as they look for fortune and gold during the Civil War. Long, epic, and unforgettable. One of the greatest westerns ever. And number 1 is Dirty Harry. No-nonsense cop tracks a killer who knows just how to work the system of soft-hand politicians. Powerful moments with plenty to discuss in its aftermath, and never fucking remake it.
I would have put Good, Bad, and Ugly as first, but that's just me.
I would agree. Dirty Harry has one flaw and one flaw only. The movie is too dark. Sometimes you can't even see what the hell is going on.
I was about to say the exact same thing. I mean, it's like I got to turn the brightness on my TV up just to see it.
I mean, Sudden Impact was that way, but there was nothing you wanted to see anyway.
Yeah.
But, like, the only Dirty Harry movies kind of had that reputation. Like, Magnum Force and the Deadpool had really good lighting, but the rest of them were very dark. But what would you say out of 41 here? This is a pretty ambitious list.
28.
I'm going to say 25. I'll say 25. All right, let me go on over to Facebook here because some lists were submitted to me not too long ago, and I want to grab them.
All right.
Let me... Oh, here, inbox. I keep changing the way it looks. All right. Okay, so Poof Nisse, a.k.a. Axel Dallenhund, sent me a 5 self-imposed challenges in video games created by Rabid Luigi the 4th of December 2016.
This sounds very interesting because I've done tons of challenges on my channel.
Well, like your Final Fantasy VIII no GF bullshit.
Oh my god, I will never.
That's just masochistic. That's masochistic.
But I proved it can be done.
I mean, just playing Final Fantasy VIII is kind of masochistic, but then you're just playing it in a way that makes it way longer than it needs to be. And Final Fantasy VIII is already too long.
4 discs and.
I mean, I don't mean that. Like 4 discs. I mean, like look at how long Xenoblade Chronicles was, and that was a fantastic game. It's just that it dragged, and that's why, like, when they released Final Fantasy VIII on like Steam, they put on all those like built-in cheats so that you could play the game at a reasonable pace and not sit there grinding for spells. That's terrible.
Yeah, that I hated that, but then that's why I'm like, dude, it's just you might as well just play it without doing it, and I'll prove it.
Yeah, I mean, self-imposed challenges are always going to be a thing in video games, and I mean, it's especially huge now because I've seen a lot of this happening with Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, like Okay, I
no
swore
armor,
to myself.
only 3 hearts, no Master Sword. I've seen all kinds of shit.
I did my best to avoid it, but I had to look up the speed world record, 58 minutes.
Wow.
I said it took me an hour just to get to the first temple of that game, or the first shrine to get to that game.
Yeah,
and this
well,
guy
you're not trying to speed run it though.
Yeah, no, this is a first time play through. This guy who was doing it obviously got it on day one and had been playing at least 12 hours a day.
Yeah. All right, so this is 5 self-imposed challenges. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto, playing as a law-abiding citizen. That's like Marge Simpson's way of playing it, right? Oh, I hit that motorist. Where do I turn myself in? You know?
Oh, dear.
I don't think you could even beat the game doing that.
You can't. You got to be as crooked as ever.
Yeah, I mean, you could not, run people over and shit, but there's a lot of, the game is about crime. Number 4, Rhythm Heaven, turn off the sound.
Oh, come on. I used to do that with Guitar Hero.
Really?
What would happen was I got pissed off with their Lamb of God rendition of Laid to Rest.
Oh, for the first Guitar Hero when they were cover songs.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would mute it and put on the actual CD, and I would have to sync it up the whole way through.
That sounds like too much of a pain in the ass to bother.
It was worth it because you don't mess with Lamb of God. That's just one thing you don't do with me. That's one of my favorite bands.
I mean, I like Lamb of God, but not that much that I would go through all that bullshit.
I'm sorry, but that cover was horrid.
Well, most of the covers were not amazing, but it was a fun game anyway. Number 3, Half-Life 2, only using the gravity gun. That might actually make it even more fun, to be honest.
Right.
Number 2, for Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, don't pick up anything you 100% need, like all the magic and stuff you can glitch through, so you don't need, for example, the hook shot or iron boots.
So basically...
low percent speed run.
15. Yeah, my buddy Retro Challenge Gamer is doing that right now.
And finally, number 1, the Nuzlocke Challenge from any Pokemon game. Well, I was doing that last night in the stream.
I do not want to do Nuzlocke.
You know what? I'm surprisingly having a lot of fun with it. I usually, like, when I'm playing Pokemon, I like to take my time, but this was really cool. And it was fun doing it on stream. I got a pretty good... I haven't lost anything so far, so... I played through to Mount Moon. I have 4 Pokemon on my team right now. It's my starter, which I wound up rolling, because I did the last trainer ID digit thing for the starter. And I wound up rolling Charmander, which is kind of a bummer, but I like Charmander, so it's okay. So he's already a Charmeleon. I have a Pidgey, Eradicate, and Mankey, which I was very lucky to get.
Right.
Because Mankey got me through the Brock gym pretty much solo.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you choose Charmander, have fun getting through that first part. You got to literally get him to like 15 to get through it.
Yeah, or you got to get either a Mankey or a Nidoran. Either Nidoran is good. Because you could because there's you could get a Moonstone pretty early, and you can wind up walking into that gym with like a Nidoking or a Nidoqueen. If you grind up a little. But yeah, those are definitely 5 self-imposed challenges, and they are very interesting. I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, 5 here.
Okay.
There is one I want to try, though. It's called the Legend of Zelda Extreme Challenge.
Oh, tell me what that is.
It's basically low percentage, no sword, no hearts, have to enter every room of the dungeon, can't kill any monsters in the overworld, and basically you have to get to Ganon's room with virtually little to nothing. No medicine, no letter, no magic book.
I mean, the way that I've seen those Zelda speedruns usually go is they do pick up the sword, but they're not allowed to use it until they get to Ganon.
Yeah, I know that's how the Tassers do it. They'll pick it up at the last part.
For it to be a task, they gotta beat the game.
Yep.
Plus, beating Ganon with like no health and no armor is gonna be tough anyway, because he takes a lot of health off you when he hits you.
One hit equals 4 hearts with a regular tunic.
Yep, and if you're doing the extreme challenge, you would only have 3 hearts anyway.
So 1 shot, 1 death.
Yeah, and considering he's invisible, it's kind of tough to not get hit. So.
Oh yeah, it may be something I'll try up ahead. I've only 4, according to a survey done by Looper a few months ago. Only like 5 people have done it.
Yeah, that's pretty no wonder they call it the extreme challenge. All right, Will A. Hamar Jr. sent me this list: 10 games that need to be remastered. Says we live in a day and age where game companies, when short on ideas, will remaster an already existing game and re-release it for some much-needed cash. Here's my picks for 10 classics that could use a fresh coat of paint. Peyton, is there any game that you feel needs like the HD remaster treatment?
So many to list off the top of my head right now.
Well,
I feel that. You know how 4 got the DS Final Fantasy 4 got the DS treatment, made all 3D and shit?
Yeah, I didn't really like the look of that, though.
Well, that's just me, but they should probably do that with 5 and 6.
Oh, God, no. Honestly, I would love 5 and 6 to be remade like 4 was for the PSP, where it's still 2D sprites, but it's just in high def.
Right.
You know, I thought that was really pretty. And plus, if you compare like Final Fantasy 4 Complete Collection on PSP to like the Steam version, there's no comparison. Like when you get to After Years on the Steam version, it's lazy as fuck.
It really was. I've barely touched it since I got it because I was like, what did I waste my money on this time? Yeah. I should have just stuck with my version on the Wii or the PlayStation Portable version.
Yeah,
I got.
The PSP version is like the full package, I think.
Oh yeah, they did an awesome job on it.
And I'm surprised that they didn't do something like that with 5 and 6. Instead, they did that like that weird mobile version with the ugly ass graphics.
Yeah, I'd rather be Let's Playing that right now. Which episode 17, Scarlett's got her lines in, so stay tuned, guys. Just got
See, I'm glad you asked the Kazarif people for that because I figured there's people that'll do it.
Thank you for giving me permission to do that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you always ask. I mean, that we all help each other in projects and shit, you know.
Seriously, we won the lottery when we got her. I'll say that a million
She's
times.
well, did you know she came on as a tester, but now she's programming?
Same here.
So
I started as a tester. Now I'm a media editor for y'all.
yeah, I mean, so we always help each other with our projects, even if they're from outside the company, because it's like we're like a family. But all right, so my pick for and I just finished Let's Playing this. I mean, you guys won't see it for a while, but Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I've been playing the Steam version, and it still holds up. It still looks fantastic, but the textures could use a little bit of touch-up in a few places. I think that releasing it in 1080p would make it look really amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so his pick for number 10 is the Siphon Filter Trilogy from PlayStation 1.
Yes.
Kids this day and age know who Solid Snake is, but forget other stealth game legends like Gabe Logan. Originally produced by 989 Studios, now defunct, this game series captivated the PlayStation community and gave us a more action-packed look into the stealth genre. A remaster with some sort of online co-op or maybe split screen, one can dream, would be utterly fantastic. Whatever happened to Siphon Filter?
Well, like they said, the game company went defunct.
Yeah, but you figure somebody else would have picked up the license.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Looney Tunes Sheep Raider. Have you ever played this one, Beta?
Oh, yeah, that is a fun game, dude.
Mentioned on a previous list, the cell-shaded art style would look great if rendered in HD, let alone the game is accessible to a large audience with an E rating. Makes it almost a no-brainer. This needs to happen. I personally think that graphically it holds up very well.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to do much to that game, graphically. I mean, giving it, better controls might be something that might help.
Oh, yeah. That one was one thing I complained about, but I mean, the game
it didn't support analog, so.
Yeah, but I mean, you play it, and it's just, you're having so much fun, you're trying to snatch up all these sheep and avoiding the dog.
Yep. Number 8 is Crash Team Racing. With the recent original trilogy remaster coming up for PS4, why not take a crack at the last Crash title that Naughty Dog made? With online 8-person multiplayer, this game could be tons of fun. I'm actually kind of shocked that they didn't include that in the Crash collection. Because it was the 4th Naughty Dog game, so why not put it in there?
Right.
Number 7, and you could tell this guy's a huge PlayStation fan with these picks. Number 7 is the Spyro trilogy. This is a crime that it hasn't been done already. Spyro did for PlayStation what the combo system did for Street Fighter. They just don't make them like they used to. I'll be honest, I thought the Spyro games were okay.
They were fun, but I mean, I haven't got them on PlayStation Network yet.
I don't think that they could be remastered. I think they could be remade because the level design was very sparse by today's standards. Number 6 is the Onimusha trilogy. Honestly, I don't know how many more Resident Evils they can make. Why not mix it up and do something different? Oh, wait, this is Capcom we're talking about.
Oh, ouch.
Snap. Speaking of Capcom, number 5 is Dino Crisis. Jurassic World came out to massive acclaim. One last hurrah for dinosaurs should be in order. I don't know. I always thought Dino Crisis was kind of lame, to be honest.
I've never played it, so I can't judge it.
Just imagine it's exactly the same game as Jurassic Park. It's just instead of zombies, you have dinosaurs.
All right.
Yeah. Number 4, I couldn't agree more on this one. Parappa the Rapper. This game had a fantastic art style, a great sense of humor, although odd because, Japan, and addicting gameplay, let alone it's kid-friendly and would be a hit with new and old audiences alike. And how come in the rhythm game boom that happened about 10 years ago when everything was Guitar Hero and Rock Band, did we not get a new Parappa game?
I have no idea.
It's crazy. All right, number 3 is Pokemon Snap. Anyone who had an N64 with an affinity for Pokemon played the crap out of and loved this game. While the mechanics of the Wii U would have been perfect for a remaster, you dropped the ball, Nintendo. I believe a revival on the Switch would be really fun, and as previously mentioned, it would be a hit with a wide range of audiences. It just makes sense. Okay, I hate to be that guy, but don't you think Pokemon Snap would work better as a feature in Pokemon Go?
Yes.
Just saying. I mean, the one thing about Pokemon Snap that really bothered me and made the game, to me, not fun, was the fact that it was on rails.
Oh, yeah. You're automatically moving and stuff.
Yeah, if you could... I mean, I get that it was a Safari game and that a lot of Safaris work like that, but wouldn't it have been cooler to go into the wild and try and, It would have been cool. Like, imagine if you had to lay traps to get them to be in a certain position so you could take the picture.
Yeah.
Or, like, like, flush them out somehow. Like, I think that would have been great, but they just made it a very simplistic... It's basically an on-rails shooter, except instead of a gun, you're shooting a camera.
Yeah.
All right, number 3 is Pokemon Stadium 2. Why did they never make this a thing? Granted, Coliseum was as good as it got. I can't help but feel this with a new layer of paint would be a huge success. The game was fun, simple, but challenging.
I think the reason for it was because with the Nintendo 64, you had that adapter for the controller for, memory cards, rumble packs, all that stuff. The technology was there, and then it got so advanced that it probably became too expensive to do so. But now they've got the 3DS, and you can link it with a Wii U, and hopefully in the near future with the Switch.
I think that, like, most people want more from a Pokemon game than just battles.
Yeah, they want to be able to,
you want to catch.
You Pikachu.
The whole thing is got to catch them all, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that, like, evolving it into an RPG series with Coliseum and XD Gala Darkness was the smart move. And finally, his number 1 pick, and I definitely agree with this, Final Fantasy IX. This is actually one of my favorite games of all time, and in my opinion, far superior to 7. The characters were far more complex and deep with way more emotional ties, especially Vivi's storyline, which I won't ruin for those who haven't dabbled, but it is fucking heart-wrenching. This needs to happen. It should have happened already. Why won't this happen? Cries uncomfortably.
Well, technically, they finally released on Steam, last year?
Yeah, they did release it on Steam, but it was kind of a stealth release that they didn't really advertise, and other than some, token PC features, it's not really a remaster. Like,
well, the
if
thing
they
also
could do for 9 what they're doing to 7...
Oh, well, hell, my buddy Porter put up tagged me in some video on Facebook where it shows a HD remake of 9.
Yeah.
Now of course, mind you, it was fan made in Unreal Engine 4, but it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I mean, and I am not talking shit on Final Fantasy VII. I think Final Fantasy VII was a fantastic game, but 9 was far superior.
I loved it, and it's definitely heart-wrenching. I love the love story between Zidane and Dagger.
All right. And I know that I correct your pronunciation of names a lot. Like, we had the whole moral conversation, and
oh yeah,
it's Zidane.
Zidane, got it.
I said it wrong too until Dissidia corrected me.
Oh yeah. That's where I heard it first.
And I didn't even like Dissidia, but it definitely let me know that it's Zidane.
Yeah.
Just like the guy from 10 is not Titus, apparently it's Titus.
Yep.
Although
didn't hear that till Kingdom Hearts.
Although personally, I think it should be Titus, but that's me. All right, out of how many was this? Was this 10?
Yeah.
This was 10. I think this was this is a really great list, and I know that it's very PlayStation centric, but Will is a very he's a big PlayStation fan, but who isn't? I love the PlayStation too, and I think that he did have a good variety here. I don't agree with some of them, but out of 10, I'm going to give it an 8.
I'll say 6.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so he sent me another list that I want to do real quick. That Will actually works as a bouncer, which is definitely an interesting job. And he has given me the 5 realities of working as a bouncer.
Let's hear them.
Maybe you should write for Cracked, Will. He says, so I work mainly as a bouncer for a bar in southern Georgia, and I thought it would be for a good list. He said, number 5, being a glorified babysitter for drunken college kids. I work on the campus of Georgia Southern, and let me tell you, just like all colleges, kids party hard. Unlike other colleges, we were in a dry county, and we were also the only club within walking distance of the dorms, so we stay pretty busy. We mainly break up drunken brawls over stupid shit like 2 girls wearing the same dress. It's happened a few times. Like, if you walk into a bar and you see some other dude wearing the same clothes, you're like, hey, brother! Girl sees that and they hate each other immediately.
It's going all the way back to I Love Lucy.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's probably gone back before television, to be honest.
Friendship, and they're ripping up their clothes. It's like, oh my God.
It's true. Number 4, women have a very short fuse. Let's be real, life has taught me this before working at the club, but I honestly thought women would be more civilized than the guys, and apparently I'm also an optimist.
More like a masochist.
My experience is that women are more civilized until they're drunk. Then it's Thunderdome. Number 3, the things you find. I primarily work pat down to ensure no weapons enter the premises and no weapons have, but the length some people will go for cheaper alcohol is insane. One time in particular, I was wanding a lady and her vagina kept pinging. She assured me it was a clitoral piercing, but I couldn't just take her word for it, so I deny her entry. When she finally realized she wasn't going to win, she pulled out, I shit you not, an entire fucking fifth of Fireball. I was both disgusted and amazed. All right. I gotta be the guy that asks. First of all, what the fuck? But really, secondly, if you already have a bottle of whiskey, why are you even going to a bar?
Holy shit.
The entire purpose of going to a bar is to get alcohol.
And lots of it.
Yeah, so that's just crazy to me. Number 2, it's kind of dangerous. Every once in a while we get that one guy who is just an asshole. He will threaten to shoot the place up, and we have to take every threat with a grain of salt because most people are blowing smoke. There are the rare occasions where they do make good and come back with a weapon. Very rare, but it has happened. We don't get bulletproof vests. We get a neon green shirt that says security. The constant threat of losing one's life just trying to work a job is a constant reality. So what he's basically saying is he's wearing a shirt with a giant neon target on it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And number 1, you will see some things you won't see elsewhere. I'll end with a very quick story of a fat dude versus a car. There was a mountain of a man, at least 6'11", I'm 6'5", and was dwarfed by him, and weighed at least 500 pounds. This guy got so drunk he tripped into another car and literally caved in the door. We had to make an accident report because they couldn't open the door, and he fled on a bicycle. You can't make this up. That must have been the sturdiest bicycle known to man.
Must have.
Holy shiitake mushrooms. Well, out of 5, I'm going to give that a 5. That was very entertaining.
I'll say 5 too.
Holy crapola. All right. Now, I have a story list here from Tickle. This is people share the worst social habits that drive them nuts. Don't be that guy. Is there a particular social habit that drives you crazy?
Not really, but I mean, I'm one of those guys that has to have one of those fidget inhabitor things, whatever.
For me, it's, you know what drives me nuts is when people have a pen and they consistently start clicking it.
Oh, you mean that kind of a habit? Okay.
But I don't know if that counts as a social habit. I guess we'll find out what they mean here because I haven't read this one yet.
Well, let's hear it.
30 of these. Number 1 is, I heard a great quote once about confidence that always helps me whenever I talk to strangers. Confidence is when you walk into a room and assume everyone already likes you. A mistake I see that socially awkward people make is assuming that everyone doesn't like them, and the cycle becomes awkward rather than warm and inviting.
Yeah?
That sounds about right. But if they could get over that, then they wouldn't be socially awkward. It's not exactly just, you can't just flip a switch on that. Number 2, if you tell a joke and no one laughs, don't repeat it again immediately to make sure everyone heard. Hell, don't repeat it again for the next 10 years.
I'm guilty as fuck of that.
You're like, Number 3, it drives me mad when people fail to notice that they're telling an irrelevant story to a service worker. The amount of waiters/waitresses that I see dancing on the spot while waiting for a customer to stop talking is astounding. They gotta do it. They need them tips. Number 4 is, I've met a lot of people who speak in very self-deprecating ways to an uncomfortable extent. I understand not wanting to appear vain and opting to humble oneself, demonstrating self-awareness. However, some people will take this a bit too far. When speaking about yourself, do so with confident modesty. Don't reduce yourself to only your flaws. You know, it does seem that a lot of people try to play who's the most dysfunctional these days.
Right.
It's like a race to the bottom. Number 5, rather. Too many people take their mistakes too seriously. Being an anxious person myself, I get that screwing up and saying you too to the waiter or the ticket person is embarrassing, but you're literally one face of thousands they have to deal with every day. What I usually do after messing up like that to avoid the dark, memory-filled shame hole in my brain is to just explain I screw up in an amused tone, laugh at myself, and move on. I bet you any money they'll remember you more for your flustered behavior afterwards rather than the initial mistake. Okay, but they don't. You know what? In that situation, you don't want the person to remember you.
Exactly.
No. I mean, like, if somebody says, have a good meal, and you go, you too, it's like, just let that one go. They probably hear it all day. It's not like they go home and like, what a fool, and they raise their highball,
Yeah.
They've already forgotten you. Number 6, I got to go to the next page for number 6. Okay. Too many people keep conversations going when no one else is into it. Conversations naturally die off, usually within a minute or two. It's okay to say see you later and walk away. That's true. That's true. Number 7, being purposely weird and random is off-putting to those who don't know you. Inside jokes alienate people who aren't on the inside. If you do that to people, you can hardly be surprised when they ignore and dislike you.
Right.
True, yeah. People who are, like, kooky just for the sake of it bug the hell out of me. You're like, oh, I'm so random. Like, no, you're not. You're an idiot. Number 8 is people who never make eye contact. Eye contact shows engagement and confidence. I guess unless they have a lazy eye, then that's not really their fault then. Number 9, letting themselves be spoken over or ignored. Stand up for yourself. If anyone takes offense, they're probably the jerk talking over you in the first place.
Jeez.
Yepper. Number 10, body language. It's very easy to see if a person is uncomfortable, and by nature, it makes other people uncomfortable. Relax your shoulders, lift your chin a little so your chest and neck open, let your eyes relax a bit. No scared wide-eyed, please. Smile a little. The kind of smile you make when you take a big sip of something warm like hot cocoa. This person is going into way too much detail for some bullshit.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I was answering somebody on Facebook. And by the way, there were like 10 of these on the first, not 10, but there were like 5 of these on the first page, and now there are like 1 per page. It drives me crazy. Number 11, sometimes you need to be a cheerleader in a conversation. I did this. You did that? Hey, great. Did you hear he did that? It's sincere. If it's sincere, it goes a long way. That's not a social habit that drives you nuts. That's just some random, weird musing. What is this list even at this point?
I have no idea.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just abandon this one because this is turning out to be very bullshit.
Yeah, let's...
And I'm just hating that it's 1 per page.
0.0.
Okay, let's see. This is from Rate My Job. We've had some good lists from here. 26 people reveal what that one terrible employee did or didn't do to get fired on their first day. Peyton, have you ever, whether it was yourself or witnessed somebody else, seen anybody get fired on their first day?
Yeah, it happened to me before.
Okay, you got to tell that story.
Night transportation. I lasted 1 day out of orientation.
Good
and you
Lord.
want to know why?
Yes, I do.
We have this thing called a logbook. We have to follow it. We are allowed to drive 11 hours within a 14-hour period. After that, we are forced to take a 10-hour break.
Okay.
You know what these motherfuckers wanted me to do? Outlaw drive. Keep on driving past the logbook.
Oh, and then if you get pulled over and a cop decides he wants to take a look at your logbook, you can get arrested.
Yep. Lose my license, get CSA points, forced onto a 10-hour break. Night transportation would get fined a heavy bunch. When they told me to do that, I said, send it in writing, please. They sent it in the machine. I took a photo of it, and I said, okay, I quit.
There you go. But you didn't get fired.
Technically, oh, yeah.
You chose to leave in that sense. This is about people who didn't even last a day because they got fired.
Oh,
So-
okay. But
It was an interesting story anyway.
do not ever work for outlaw companies if you guys are truck drivers. Go legit. Make sure they follow logbook rules because that ain't for your safety. That's for your safety and to keep you on the road good.
Yep. Okay, so there's 26 of these. This one says his last job. Whoa, hold on. I'm on the wrong page here. Okay, so this first one is retired police officer here. I once got sent to a. Oh no! Wait a minute. That's a different list. Jesus Christ. Well, you know what? The first one seemed like it was starting in the middle of a story, so I hit the back button.
Oops.
Okay. His last job, he was driving cars from where they were dropped off to where they were sold at auction. He was driving this really nice BMW sitting at a stop sign on the base of a hill. Semi-truck carrying logs loses its brakes and slams him at 50-plus miles per hour. He then proceeds to T-bone another car while still getting pushed by the semi. Him T-boning the other guy knocked him out of the front of the semi and into another car which had seen what was happening and slid to a stop. The semi went over the hill and landed in the creek at the base. He got cut out of the car and then airlifted out along with the driver of the semi and the passenger of the car he T-boned And when he called his boss after emergency surgery, the boss fired him. He sued the hell out of the company for wrongful termination, and he's been living off of the money for 3 years.
Wow.
Could have been fired. Obviously, it wasn't his fault. That's crazy.
Maybe that's what I should have done with Knight.
They probably didn't want to pay his medical bills because they had, on their insurance and whatnot.
Right.
All right, next one. I worked at a gas station a while back, helped train this new guy. He was really nice. We all liked him. First solo shift, he walks away with $150 out of the register. Didn't even try to cover it up or anything. Everyone was shocked. What the fuck did he think was going to happen? He said, hey, free money. All right, worked at a 50s themed restaurant. Kid named Joe gets a job as a busy boy? I think he means busboy. Was told to clean tables and set them. Nothing more, nothing less. First table he cleans, he steals the tip. Server foolishly gives him the benefit of the doubt. Joe's next act of defiance, he approaches a friendly and elderly regular. They get to chatting, and the gentleman brings up that he has just had some serious dental surgery. Joe is intrigued and begins a failed negotiations with the gentleman for painkillers. The negotiations turned into pleading, and my manager intervened and promptly fired him. This all happened within the first hour.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's crazy. I fired a guy who showed up 4 hours late his first day. I was in a moving company at the time. When he showed up, he asked if he still gets paid for the job since the bill includes 4 people and we did the job with 3. I told him to walk home and not to bother showing up the next day.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Like, I'll be honest, I called in to work my 3rd week at my current job because I had the flu. And if there wasn't an outbreak, I'm almost certain I would have gotten canned for it.
Yeah, I mean, well, the flu can be pretty serious if you try to work through it.
Yeah, they flat out said don't try it. All right, just rest and wait till the fever breaks.
Friend moved halfway across the state for a job. First day the company announced layoffs. She was let go. Obviously when they do layoffs, they tend to do the newest employees first, but if they were planning on doing layoffs, why were they hiring people?
Exactly.
One hand doesn't know what the other hand's fucking doing. I work in a college town, and we hired a new part-timer to work reception. On her first day, she casually mentions to us that her wealthy parents want her to experience what it's like to struggle, so she has to work a job and use the city buses for 2 months, and then she can quit, and her parents will give her allowance back and get her a new car. Boss, so wait, you're going to leave in 2 months? Yeah, that's what my parents said. Can I talk to you in my office?
Oh, boy.
Why would you tell them that?
Some people are dumb. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Definitely dumb there. Not personally, but one of my favorite stories is of the teenage kid who got fired on his first day of working at the supermarket for eating all the skin off the rotisserie chickens.
Eric Cartman, what I tell you about doing that?
Yeah, that's it. Well, they left you the chicken part.
The skin's the best part.
You know what I loved about that episode, because that's one of my favorites, but I love the fact that he has done so many horrible things. Like he had 2 people murdered and then ground their carcasses into chili and fed that to their kid. He tried to exterminate the Jewish people, but eating the skin off the KFC is what was finally over the line for these kids. That cracked me up. Because in the end, they are kids. It has to be something that affects them personally.
Then again, none of them really like Scott Tenorman when that happened to him. And he's always trying that, though, and he always fails, or it's like, fuck it, just let him do it.
Yeah, but it's fail. But the chicken thing was what was too far. That cracked me up. I love that episode. All right.
I gotta watch that tonight after I get done streaming.
Yep. I worked with a guy named Daryl for about 7 hours. Daryl was probably in his late 40s or early 50s and was a pretty intimidating-looking guy. He was probably 6'6", 250 pounds, muscular, bald, and a full beard. He was hired as a produce manager at the grocery store I worked at. I talked to him for a while, and he seemed to be an extremely nice guy. He said he was in the military most of his life, went to college when he was in his 40s, and ended up getting a master's in industrial engineering. He was telling me how depressed he was that no one would hire him because of his age and was planning on working here while job hunting. We were almost off work, and the assistant manager came to talk to us. I forgot to mention the assistant manager was an enormous asshole. He came over, introduced himself to Daryl, and immediately began criticizing his first day's work. I don't know exactly what Daryl did, but he made a minor mistake that made the assistant manager ask him, "Do you even know what a serrano pepper is?" Daryl defended himself and apologized, saying he would fix whatever mistake he made. The assistant manager then delivered the final blow and said, "Noah, it looks like we hired a produce manager who doesn't know shit about produce," and laughed. Daryl then said what every employee there had wanted to say at one point, "You're not going to talk to me like a fucking child." The assistant manager fired him on the spot.
Well, keep your dignity, dude.
Yeah, that's the important thing. He kept his dignity. I mean,
It's kind of like what's going on with my roommate Josh. He's having trouble finding work, even though he's got a degree in biochemistry.
yeah, that's all over the place. That kind of shit is happening.
Shit.
Yeah, it's sad but true. I was a pizza delivery guy at a family-owned Italian restaurant. They brought a guy in to help make pizzas. 2 hours into his training, he starts talking about wanting to bang the waitresses. The waitresses were the daughters of the owner. The guy teaching him how to make the pizzas was the older brother. He was physically ejected from the building. Yeah, that'll get you canned.
Talk about keeping it in the family.
Well, I mean, No, but imagine if, like, you were working with your family and some asshole was like, "Yeah, that chick over there, I want to fuck her in the ass," and it's like your mom.
Wear a rubber, dude.
Oh, well, all right, maybe not your mom, okay?
I know.
I know you have issues with your family, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, at the time of this recording.
That is true. It is Mother's Day, and I'm going to have to call my mom after this, even though I saw her yesterday. Got fired on my first week after training when the schedule came out. I was in high school, and during the interview, I told the manager interviewing me that I could only work 20 hours a week. I didn't mind 8-hour days on weekends, but during the week, I couldn't do it. As soon as training ends, the schedule comes out, and I'm scheduled to work 39 and a half hours with several 8-hour shifts on weekdays after school. I went into the manager's office and told him that I couldn't do it, and so he said, "This is why we hired you. Either do it or you're fired." Well, that was that.
Yeah, he chose the right choice.
Yeah.
Target used to do that. They hired kids for, after school and all that when I was working there.
Yeah.
And they were not allowed to keep them after 8 o'clock. So if they came in, it had to be like a 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. shift. They'd do it for like 4 hours and they'd go home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was a cart attendant at the time, so I loved it. I'd stay for as long as I could.
Let's see. I was hired at a Chi-Chi's in high school, and when you're under 18, you can't work past 9 p.m. in my state. This was like 15 years ago. I was a busser, and every night my boss made me stay past 10, some nights until 11. I tried to explain every night that it was illegal to keep me this late, and I needed to still do homework and then get up at 7 for school. He didn't care and basically ignored me every night. My mom called and ripped him a new one after 2 weeks, and I never went back. I'm confused as to why employers would hire high schoolers when they knew they obviously can only work part-time hours. All right. Well, that was an interesting story, but first of all, you weren't fired, and secondly, it wasn't on the first day.
Right. It just sounded like, it's starting to devolve, and now it's like, okay, I got to make a choice.
This one says, while working at an apple orchard in Australia, the foreman would fire any German or Asian worker within their first hour simply for speaking. Wasn't the most pleasant person to work for.
I believe it.
I believe it. There's a lot of problems with racism in Australia, especially against Asian people.
And that sucks, too, because Asian girls are hot.
I do think they're very hot, but there's a problem in Australia. Apparently, Asian immigrants there face some real fucking racism there, and it's kind of sucky because it's like they tend to keep to themselves,
I'll have to ask my ex, Allie, about that. She's from Australia.
I mean, obviously, it's not everyone, but it's enough to be a problem. Yep, knew a kid around 19 or 20 comes in, warehouse job, goes out to buy weed during lunch break, gets busted. Turns out he has a warrant out for him, goes to jail, then has the balls to call us to bail him out because he lives with his grandmother and she would get upset.
You're on your own, dude.
This sounds like a side story in an episode of 15 and Pregnant.
Wow.
All right. Guy applied for a general manager position at the movie theater I worked at. He got the job based off him having prior manager experience at Pizza Hut or something. First day he showed up high wearing a Suns Out, Guns Out tank top and swimming trunks. Also, he was wearing 2 different shoes. Owner told him to leave promptly after showing up for work that same day. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I applied for a job in a kitchen of a restaurant. There was no application, just a walk-in interview. I show up to work a couple of days later, and the chef starts giving me a tour of the kitchen. All right, you ready to make some omelets? Sure. Are you going to show me? He looked at me, paused, and started laughing. Nervous laughter from my side. As it turns out, the manager called the wrong person. She got me mixed up with the guy who had 5 years' experience and called me by mistake.
Ah, ouch.
And that's why you have applications.
Oh.
It would have been great if you had all that stuff written down, right?
That hurts right there.
Yeah. He got hired by mistake, it sounds like. At orientation, they told the 12 of us that we were the bestest and the brightest of 900 or so interviews they'd conducted. We got our access badges and our corporate Amex cards. One of the best and brightest went to a high-end men's clothing store on his lunch hour and purchased $4,000 worth of suits, ties, and shoes. He came back from lunch and bragged of his exploits, fired on the spot. He actually thought his Amex card was a job perk. Can I at least keep the clothes? Wow. I had to fire a janitor on day one because someone spilled a cup of coffee and he stared them directly in the eyes and yelled, "Fuck you," at the top of his lungs. He was fucking crazy. He threatened to kill me after he was fired and stood outside of the workplace with a bouquet of flowers until we called the police on more than one occasion.
A bouquet of what?
Was he going to kill them with flowers?
Maybe somebody was allergic to him or something.
Maybe he was just nuts.
Yeah.
I had just arrived at Great Lakes for boot camp. This was 1991, and we were standing in line for our first introduction to what is known in the military as Operation Golden Flow, our first urinalysis test. As I'm standing in a very long line and tip-tapping around because I have to piss so much, a guy standing behind me taps me on the shoulder and asks what we're waiting for. I look at him and tell him a urinalysis. He looks at me and asks what a urinalysis is, so I tell him to see he was taking any drugs recently. He nods, shrugs, and says, "Well, I guess I shouldn't have smoked that crack last night." He was serious. Now, he officially wasn't fired the first day, but about 2 weeks later, when his results came back, he was. So yes, you can say that he was fired that first day, but had to suffer for a few weeks until officially let go.
That sucks right there. It's like, what was the point? You could have saved yourself some dignity.
Well, should have smoked that crack.
Yeah, study hard for your piss test.
I fired someone about 2 hours into their first day. We had a monster pile of branches to send through the wood chipper, and 2 of my better guys were working on it. I hire a new guy to help out. I spend all this time training him on how not to get killed by the wood chipper and send him out with my 2 guys. I run out a bit later to check on him, and I see my experienced guys getting it done. They're busting their butts and putting in work chipping branches. New guy, on the other hand, picks up a twig, tosses it in the chipper, grabs a drink of water, grabs another twig. Another drink, goes and has a smoke, another few twigs, etc. I had to let him go. Well, he's just like, I'll just put this stick in, and I'll play on my phone for a little while. I managed a smoothie place for a while and hired this kid for mornings. His first day he was 2 hours late. He apologized for being late because he was tripping on shrooms and got lost on the way to work.
What the fuck?
He also took 15 smoke breaks in the 4 hours that he worked. When his shift was over, I told him not to come back. I'm surprised he let it go that long.
Exactly.
When the guy shows up 2 hours late and tells you that he's on shrooms and got lost on his way, I'd have been like, why don't you just go home?
Why don't you go home and sleep it off? We'll call you when we need you, and then you don't call them.
Yeah, exactly. Friend was hired, and the next day the company announced layoffs. Of course, he was first to go. He got lucky, though, because for one reason or another, they had to continue paying him for the next 2 months, even though he only worked a total of 2 days. Halfway into that 2 months, he found a better job.
Wow.
Once again, why are you hiring and laying off at the same time? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's what happened with me one time, actually. I got hired on at a rehab facility in Denton. Lasted a week. They laid me off. Didn't say why, so I got on workman's. I got on that.
Unemployment.
Yeah, I got on welfare for like 2 months while I was looking for another job.
No, at least you got one, right?
Yeah, and the best part was it was right across the street from where I worked.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
I got fired on my first day. Reason, his best mate just lost his job, so he fired me and hired him instead.
Talk about favoritism.
Yeah, that sucks. My company hired temps for this big job. We didn't have a lot of space, so temps had to double up in cubicles. I did feel very bad for them, but some of their actions were hilarious/terrible. Our laptops require a password to log in before doing anything. It is a gray screen with prompts for the username and password. Pretty simple stuff. One guy had his username and password written on a Post-it note. He then spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to log in. He didn't realize that he had to press enter. 2 hours. Another guy was chugging along at his task. His cube mate was sneezing or talking or something. His reaction? Slapper. He got escorted out of the building. The next day he shows up to work again like nothing happened. He was escorted back out and told please not to return. Most of the temps were nice and did just fine. Some made you wonder if they could ever get a full-time gig. Can you imagine being a temp in your first day and some chick just sneezes, so you just go and just slap the crap out of her?
Well, if she took her bra off in front of me, I'd probably be like, hey, can we hire her on full-time?
Yeah, well, that's kind of the opposite of what I just said.
I know. I'm trying to make it positive is all.
Yeah. Had a buddy get hired as a valet in downtown. On his first day, he was asked to park a pretty expensive luxury car and ended up hitting it on the concrete pillars in the parking garage. Pretty much got fired on the spot.
Well, who didn't see that coming, be honest?
I mean, that's like the one thing that you don't do. That's kind of the rule number one of valet parking is to not fuck up the car.
Intro to Bad Santa, too.
There you go. We were training at class for a 3 a.m. to 12 p.m. shift, so of course the training was at 3 a.m. One guy came in drunk as a skunk, probably left the bar straight to work, slurring and falling asleep. We had to keep him there for a couple of hours after firing him because we didn't want to be responsible for him driving home drunk. Well, you could have called him a cab instead.
Yeah, do something.
Then you wouldn't have had to put up with him.
When I worked at Campbell's, if anybody showed up drunk, what they would do is they'd hide them behind a bunch of crates in the warehouse until they sobered up to work.
Oh my God, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one. Second day, she was visiting one of our production sites and thought the second day was starting too early, so she called down to the local leadership team to say she'd be in that afternoon, if at all. She was on the next flight home instead. Well, damn.
That sucks.
All right, well, out of 26, this is pretty interesting. I'm going to give it a 20.
I'll say 22.
All right. I'm going to do one more list, and then we're going to let you go because I know you got a stream going fairly soon.
Yeah, and I got to drop some bombs off at the little kiddie pool, if you know what I mean.
Oh, there you go. Astonished people reveal things they didn't notice until someone pointed it out to them.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
This is you all over. Number 1, you aren't extraordinary, you're extraordinary. I mean, that is how it's spelled, so.
Right.
Yeah. Number 2, the logos for Grand Theft Auto and The Price is Right use the same font. That is true. Yeah.
Come on down. You're the next person to get shot up.
You're the next person to get jacked. Come on down, Peyton Brown. You're the next contestant on Getting Jacked.
Oh, shit.
Number 3, in The Wizard of Oz, after Dorothy is taken away by the monkeys, the Scarecrow, Lion, and Tin Men are in the woods. It is revealed that the Scarecrow actually has a revolver in his hand.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a scene where he was shooting at something, and they cut the scene, but they left a part where you could see him holding the gun. So. Number 4, there's an extra piano chord in the intro to Roxanne by the Police. It is apparently there because Sting sat on the piano by mistake. You can hear a laugh immediately after the chord, too.
I remember that. I was like, what the hell was that?
I had an old friend that absolutely hates that song. She's like practically triggered by it. It's pretty fucking hilarious. So her and a bunch of her friends went to see that movie Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
There's a part where this guy obnoxiously sings it. He's like, and he's not a good singer. He's like, Roxanne, And apparently everybody started giggling because they know how much she hates the song, and she's like yelling, "I hate you guys! Fuck you guys!" And then they all got kicked out of the theater. How leotard and leopard are pronounced very differently.
Yeah.
Well, that's the English language in a nutshell right there. Number 6, sword fights in movies. 90% of the time their swings wouldn't hit them. They either aim to the side or are way too far apart. Well, yeah, that's so the actors don't accidentally kill each other.
They could do like that movie First Night and just in post actually like digitally put in the swords.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's how Star Wars works.
Yeah. Richard Gere, there's one scene where he slays the bad guy at the end. If you pay attention to the bottom left, he'll raise his sword up a little bit, and you can see, he's just holding the hilt. There's no blade to it.
That's interesting, but there's no way I'm going to watch that movie again.
I only watched it because it was for I was taking a medieval class in college,
Okay.
and I was doing a paper on chivalry.
Oh,
4,000 words on the basics of chivalry and knighthood.
okay. Number 7, the next time you watch Family Guy, take a close look at the characters. Anytime a character isn't talking, they just stand there motionless. I guess it's Fox's way of keeping the animation cost down, but once you know it, you'll never unsee it. Sorry.
I already knew that from season 1. I've been watching it since then.
That's most cartoons, though. There's very few... actually, believe it or not, South Park is the one cartoon that doesn't do that. They actually animate the characters breathing if you pay enough attention.
Yep.
Which is crazy, because South Park started as animated cardboard or construction paper or whatever. It was very primitive, but now it's actually animated really well.
And it's going to go on for another 2 seasons.
At least. They're contracted for another 2. Number 8, nowhere in Humpty Dumpty does it say he's an egg. Well, yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but Humpty Dumpty started as a riddle, and you were supposed to guess what Humpty Dumpty was. So, there you go. Number 9, that Blink-182's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was a pun. Have you never heard it said out loud? It's pretty obvious.
I remember I got in trouble and got detention for a week because I said that out loud. I was like, has anybody, I asked the teacher, have you heard, because we were talking about music, and I asked her, have you ever heard of Blink-182's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket? And the whole class erupts in laughter, and she's like, see me after class.
Did she not believe you when you said it was a real thing?
No, she didn't. She thought I was dicking around. And she was a big Blink-182 fan, too. That's why I was asking her.
She's a fan and she didn't know that? Oh, God. All right. Number 10, ELO didn't get their name by being an orchestra of electric lights, but by being a light orchestra of electric instruments. Totally blew my mind. Oh. I guess that does make more sense.
Yep.
Number 11, the bushes and clouds in Mario are the same sprite, just colored differently.
And they all have eyes, too.
Yes. Number 12, the word homeowner has meow in the middle of it. Good luck never seeing that again. I actually knew that from a Tumblr Gets Deep post. Number 13, there's an episode of Family Guy where Brian and Stewie are locked in a vault and interact for the whole episode. It is literally 30 minutes of Seth MacFarlane talking to himself because he voices the 2 characters.
There's no cutaway gags or nothing. It's just them in a vault.
That was about the time where I decided I was done with Family Guy.
It was supposed to be an emotional episode because...
It was so bad. I think I posted something on Facebook like I just watched Brian Griffin eat Stewie's shit. I think I'm done with this show.
Yep.
Number 14, the PetSmart logo reads both PetSmart and PetSmart. Yeah, that's intentional. By the way, back to the Family Guy thing. Imagine how many scenes in The Simpsons are just Harry Shearer talking to himself.
Excellent.
Because he does Mr. Burns and Smithers.
Yep.
And half of the cast, really.
Yeah.
Number 15, that yellow, red, and green peppers are the same thing at different stages of ripeness.
Yep. I knew that one, too.
Yeah. Well, you used to haul vegetables, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be why. Number 16, the numbers on a roulette wheel add up to 666. Why would somebody sit there adding up those numbers?
Somebody was bored playing Dragon Quest VIII, probably.
That might have been it, yeah. You know what, though? That roulette wheel in Dragon Quest VIII only goes up to 24, doesn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4. No, it goes up to 28.
Oh, 20. Well, yeah, but in a real one, it's 36.
Yeah, 36.
Number 17, City and Color is an acoustic band. Their lead singer and songwriter's name is Dallas Green. His name is both a city and a color. Well, that is a lazy way to come up with a band name, no?
Hey, it worked out.
Oh. Number 18, in Saved by the Bell, Mr. Belding's name was Mr. Belding. That was probably intentional. I always thought it was because he was balding, though. Balding, Belding. Number 19, it's called breakfast because you are breaking your fast. Yes, it's literally spelled that way. Thank you. Number 20, Homer Simpson's hair/ear look like the letters MG, a.k.a. the creator Matt Groening's initials.
He even did that on a recent episode. He showed how, here's how you can draw
couple of
homosexual.
years ago, he's like, and for some reason, my hair and ear form the letters MG. Number 21, race car is race car spelled backwards. Yes, that was pointed out to most of us in the 3rd grade.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Oh, really?
I swear.
Okay. Number 22, that Mickey Mouse's ears are always pointed at the camera, so even when he turns sideways, they are still an iconic 3-circle looking shape, even if they are pointing at the back of his head.
That explains why he wears a hood and is always in shadows in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, because it's rendered in 3D, and unless they made his ears like spheres, it would look fucked up. Because he's always got to be a logo. Number 23, you can actually see your nose. Your brain just chooses to ignore it.
God damn it. Why am I closing my eyes looking at my nose?
Yeah, I did the same thing. Number 24, many people believe that Star Wars is a futuristic representation of what humans could become, even though it starts out a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It means we've still got millions of years to evolve when there's already technology out there that can destroy planets in one attack.
Right. Or several planets if we go by episode 7.
Oh yeah. Holy shit.
By the way, how hype are you for episode 8? Because I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Oh yeah.
Number 25, that a pony is indeed not a baby horse.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, well, you should know that. Number 26, Florida created his name by separating the flow from the rida in Florida. Yeah, how could you not know that?
Even WWE made a reference to that, and I'm just like, shut up, this guy cannot sing.
All he did is put a space in it. Number 27, Mario and Luigi are dressed in red and green because of the Italian flag, and when they have fire flowers, they have white in their outfits as well. Okay, that is not why. No.
No,
Mario was drawn as red and blue because both colors stand out against black, which is what they use for the backgrounds in old arcade games.
Yep.
Luigi was created as green just to be different.
Well, it was also because of the two-player aspect of Super Mario.
Yeah.
Especially with the Mario Brothers plumbing game, it was to have somebody that would be noticeably different.
Yes, he had to be different. So they came up with it, the chromatic opposite of red and blue is, green. Number 28, Sonic's sidekick miles per hour equals miles per hour. Well, yeah. That's the joke.
Yeah, and instead he just calls them Tails for the hell of it.
Yeah, well, I think more people would notice that if he wasn't called Tails. Number 29, that the why did the chicken cross the road joke was meant to be morbid instead of literal, the other side. No, that's not at all what it is. You're thinking about it too much. Number 30, the Teletubbies were called Teletubbies because they had a television in their tummy. Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, and I've never seen it.
Well,
Number 31, there's a small...
Taking care of 2-year-old needs, you have to.
Yeah. There's a small arrow next to the fuel sign on your car which indicates which side of the fuel tank is on. I didn't know that until about, let's say, 10 years ago, and yeah, it's useful.
Then you got somebody like me driving big rigs where there's a fuel canister on both sides.
Well, there you go. Yeah, because you gotta get gas, and you gotta find which way you're gonna fit into that situation. So you're gonna have options there.
Yep.
Number 32, the first note of Happy Birthday is the lowest. Start on the lowest note you can sing, and you'll never go out of range. Okay. Number 33, the toaster settings are time, not heat level. Yeah, it's not degrees of toastiness.
Yeah.
Number 34, flammable and inflammable mean the same exact thing. Well, Dr. Nick found that out the hard way.
God damn it, I was thinking about that scene too.
Flammable means inflammable, or whatever he said. Number 35, it's called a passport because it lets you pass through ports.
Well, no shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of dumbasses out there, huh? Well, that's all of them. Out of 35, I got to say, I'm astonished at how dumb these people were, so I'm going to give it a 29.
30 for me.
All right, and that's going to be the show. Peyton, you're going to stream. I'm going to call my mom or whatever and probably get some lunch.
Happy
So-
late Mother's Day to all the mothers out there listening to a couple of guys randomly reading lists and enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see you guys next month with more List Critics, and later in the month with List Critics 2.
Enjoy that, Necro, and enjoy it, Jesse. I'm out. I got to drop a deuce.